This is your cosmic reminder that you are a powerful co creator. And here's the twist, it's not you. Energy doesn't lie. We're going to get into ways that you can discern energy with more ease and grace and avoid getting energetically whacked. So, welcome, welcome. I'm going to make sure that I am live in all the places. As you pop on, say hello. Let me know where you are watching from. Okay, and we will kick off here as well. So I just want to reiterate that this week it is a reminder that it's not you. If you are tuning in, if you are watching, I have a very strong feeling that you are empathic. You are someone who feels at great depths. You take on other people's energy, emotions, feelings, thoughts as if they were your own. And in our younger years, and that's not age related, but in our younger adventurous years as developing spiritual beings having this human experience, it's hard to discern what is ours and what's other people. And if no one ever pointed that out to us in the very beginning, it's almost impossible to know. We just feel overwhelmed. We want to stay away from the world because many empaths, what they end up experiencing is that others feel comfortable around them and tend to dump their life stories onto them. And then they get inundated, empathic curious seekers like yourself, with all sorts of really heavy, intense emotional stories. And let me know as you pop on too, if that's ever happened to you. Hello, Hannah. So glad you could join us live. So let's talk about this week and the fact that as we tune in, the card that came up as I asked, what's the most important message that you need to hear this week? It was the Magician card. And the Magician card is saying, you know what? You have everything right at your fingertips that you need in order to create the life of your dreams, to be able to discern what's your energy and someone else's. So it's really about tuning in this week and asking yourself, what tools do I have at my fingertips that I'm not fully utilizing? You might have sacred practices, crystals, journals, other wonderful spiritual tools that have been collecting dust. I know that myself, life gets busy and you get into certain routines and habits, and sometimes we fall out of those routines. So if there's meditative practices or affirmations, or heck, just even getting out and taking a walk or doing a practice like yoga, breath work, take active time this week or mindful intention to make room for those practices that you once loved and that you could feel the difference that they made. Remind yourself that you don't have to start from scratch. It's not about starting from zero. It's simply about reclaiming what you already have, your gifts, your routines, your practices that have lit you up in the past. This is really true this week because as we bring the moon in and her wonderful energy, the moon is in a waning phase. So she's getting darker and darker, and we'll have a new moon next week. And my Moon Club members, heads up, we've got a new moon ritual this week to prep us. I'll send out the details on that later. But this week, we are going to let go of the clutter, let go of all the extra to-dos, the busy work that might have kept you from utilizing those sacred practices and tools. Because here's the thing, when we think about, and I really want to share 3 tips with you today about how to discern energy or read the vibe in a room. And the first thing is just knowing where your energy ends and somebody else's begins. And here's a little energetic practice. You can rub your palms together. And this is just kind of hands-on lab work. This is what I do with my Mastering Intuition students. And you open and close your palms, and then you bring your hands close and far apart and close. And as you do this, and you can move as slowly as you want or as quickly, let me know if you feel any pressure between your palms or as you pull the hands away, if you feel anything kind of pulling. Maybe you feel warmth or tingling, or maybe nothing at all. But what you're beginning to discern is you're beginning to notice your energy field and start to realize that everything has an energetic field around it. The trees, the rocks, we can pick this up. It's a great practice to go out at sunset or even sunrise and just sit as the sun is going down and start to notice how if you soften your eyes a little bit, you can see the beautiful light around the trees. You're seeing the tree's aura. So A practice like the root flush fill that I bring people through is wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to share that on the screen, irenamiller.co/get calm. If you go to that link, you'll get on my weekly email message, as well as receiving a gift that I love to share. It's my most requested practice for discerning where your energy ends and other people begins. It's a practice like building muscles to strengthen your energetic field. And that's the first tip that I really encourage you to do, because what that's going to help with is it's going to help in situations where people are losing their emotions or flipping their lids, getting angry. You'll be able to stay steady, grounded, and calm. So I love, love, love this one. Okay, so I'm going to just hide that away. And in the meantime, if we haven't met, my name's Irina Miller. I'm an astrologer, what I call an energy alchemist, a spiritual life guide. And it is my joy to have you here, curious empathic seekers, to share sacred practices and tools that enable you to step into the life that you were born to live. So if this is something that lights up your soul and heart, please do like, subscribe, share it with a friend. It helps out so very much in getting these practices out to the world. And I am so grateful for your presence and for your willingness to share. Let's talk about the overarching energy of this week. Here's the other thing about energy, is that it really affects us. And I don't know, and not everyone's empathic to the depths that I think many of us here are. You know, I've had many people look at me and say, Irina, why do you take it so personally? It's not happening to you. But it kind of feels like it is at sometimes. You know, if you've ever watched something and gotten sympathy pains, or you've been talking with someone and you feel absolutely drained after the conversation, you're not the only one. And the energy doesn't lie. Something has been going on. It's not you. The world needs people like you who are energetically sensitive and in tune. I was listening to one of my teachers this morning, and she was talking about how she had been going through a major bout of anxiety, and she went on a particular type of medication. It was wonderful, helped her immensely. She was on it for like a year, year and a half. But while she was on that medicine, she wasn't as, I'll put it this way, energetically sensitive. She wasn't picking up on everybody else's emotions and feelings to the same depth. And I thought that was so interesting because, you know, I've heard of certain medicines numbing feelings, or we don't feel like ourselves, but I had never thought of it like that. And for a brief moment, I thought, oh, how fabulous that would be. And then I thought, oh, how terrible that would be. I would, you know, it's like losing a limb. This energetic sensitivity, this compassion that you have, and really it's empathy at this point, it's raw psychic data coming in. If we lose that, it's like losing a limb or a sense. This is giving you an extra insight into navigating this world, but it can be overwhelming if we don't have the skills, the tools, the practices to utilize it in an uplifting way that helps us. If it harms us, it's no good. And that's my goal, my heart's mission in this life, is to bring the practices to you to help you navigate this world, to be in it, but not of it. And I'm a firm believer in Eastern approaches, Western approaches. Hey, cross training is what I call it. We do what we need to do in order to really step into this world fully. Being seen and loved and supported, whatever that is, whether we're taking certain medicines or doing certain sacred practices. My goal is to share the holistic sacred practices with you to assist you in whatever your heart and spirit needs in this journey. So with that being said, if we look at the overarching energy of this week, the moon is waning. It's getting darker and darker in the skies above. When that happens, it is a natural message from the universe: let go, release, let go of the clutter, the distractions. It's a great time if we want to start losing weight or clean out a closet to do it on a waning moon. We also have the last quarter moon happening on Tuesday, and all that means is it's a point in the letting go process that I really see as a forgiveness towards ourselves, having compassion towards ourselves. If there's been a decision or a choice that you've made in the past that has kept you from moving forward, whether it's accepting and receiving gifts of grace or abundance, do a healing practice this week. The other thing too, again, with discerning energy, second tip I want to give is noticing. So we said where our energy ends and other people's begins. The second thing is how much of this energy belongs to you. Now, it might be a label or a belief that we grew up with, maybe it's something like don't be too big for your britches, or you've got champagne taste on a beer budget, or what do you think? Money grows on trees? Have you heard any of this? That might be beliefs and labels that are rooted within your energetic field that need to be weeded out. Maybe there was an action you had taken where you thought, oh my God, I was being too big for my britches, or I took on too much of a risk. I can't believe I did that. Practice compassion towards yourself on Tuesday and even Wednesday. Allow your heart to heal. And that can be done through a practice like the Ho'oponopono, which is I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Whether it's you're saying it to someone else that you feel that you've harmed or hurt, or whether you're saying it even to yourself for choices and decisions made. But that is a wonderful way to bring the healing in. So make space for clarity, make space for the new direction. So when that new moon comes next week, the new moon in Gemini, then you will have the opportunity to really plant a dream that's not going to be shadowed by the past, the clean slate. And happy birthday to our Gemini friends. The sun enters Gemini on Tuesday. If you are a Gemini, put that in the comments. Let me know. That way we can all wish you a very, very happy birthday. And happy birthday to our Taurus friends. We're almost out of Taurus season. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. So Gemini birthdays, Saturday, a big thing that's happening is Saturn, the planet of discipline, responsibility, the work that we came into this lifetime to do is moving into Aries. Very interesting, but it hasn't been in this space since the 90s. And I want to invite you to go back and look at that time. And I meant to find the exact date, and I am really going to find the exact date. So to figure out when the planets change signs, a couple different ways to do it, but I love to go to my handy dandy ephemeris, and I just want to see, because I want to really, this is real time, folks. Not to hold you up, but I want to just see, because I meant to look it up before we hopped on, and it slipped my mind. Because here's the thing, think about the work you came into this lifetime to do. Think about what was happening in the late 90s. Oh goodness, oh wait, this only goes back to 2000. Okay, I don't have my other ephemeris handy. I'll get the dates and I'll share it with you in another video. But think about what you were doing in the late 90s. Was something changing around your purpose, around the work that you came here to do? Where were you in your life? What was going on? I know for me, I was graduating college. I was preparing to pursue a brand new line of work and a role going out into the corporate world. And it was very interesting because I was stepping into roles that didn't feel like me, but I felt like it was what was expected of me. Expected by culture, society, be responsible, do the grown-up thing, get a job that is traditional. I was a decision science management information systems major. So I was going into, ideally, the work I was going to go into was analyzing flows. And anyway, ended up in coding. That's another story for another day. But Gemini, Hannah, oh, happy birthday. Oh my goodness. So think back to the 90s, late 90s. What were you doing with your work? What was happening? Know that shifts are coming around that. And we'll talk about that more in a different video. The last thing about Saturday I want to mention is Mercury and Uranus are giving each other a big hug in the sky. So it could be a great day for inspirational thoughts and ideas, downloads. You might have something that kind of a surprising idea that comes through. Watch your words. You also might kind of be spontaneous in sharing information. And there might be things that you would rather have not said or shared with certain people. So just take a breath before you speak and also look for those wonderful insights and downloads. The last thing was Sunday, Mercury goes into Gemini. Woohoo! So the mind is going to be racing, lots of thoughts. Mercury loves Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini. So you might have to give your mind a project or a job every now and then if you tend towards anxiety or worry or nervousness. Give your mind something to focus on. So whether it's mantras or affirmations, and that's a third tip that I want to talk about when it comes to mastering your energy and reading the energy in a room. Energy is kind of like cold germs, or even hugging someone and getting their perfume on you afterwards. It rubs off so easily. You don't even realize it. And as an empath, not everybody is that affected, but empaths, curious seekers, they really are. I know that for myself, I can walk away from a conversation with someone and I pick up their affects. Like maybe they have like a funny way of smiling or blinking their eyes when they talk, or an accent. I soak it up like a chameleon and a sponge. If I'm not grounded, if I'm not discerning where my energy is and theirs, is as well, if I'm not tuning in and saying, wait a second, is this mine or someone else's? It's fascinating to me. It's so easy to pick up other people's energy. And there's a great quote by Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. It goes, please be responsible for the energy that you bring into this space, because it really does affect others in our world. So when we are grounded, when we know, that's the root flush fill that I shared earlier, when we know where our energy ends and other people's begins, which the root flush fill will help with, rubbing of the hands, when you can start to really be compassionate towards yourself and realize, wait a second, it's not just me. I'm not taking it too personally. I'm not making it up. Then you can move into a place where you can be present and you can notice more easily when you pick up energetic vibes that aren't yours. So let's dive into the week ahead. We'll look at each moon this week, which zodiac sign it's in, and we'll pull a card to just tune in how you can make the most of that day. Okay, moon on Monday starts off in Aquarius, which is wonderful from detaching from the drama. It's going to enable you to rise above the chaos and the fray and to think outside the box, to creatively problem solve and to find a solution. So great day for innovation, collective thinking, brainstorming. If you've got anything technical to do, if you want to connect with community, like start to bring a community together, great day for it. And we're going to pull a card and just ask, how can you make the most of Monday's energy? Let's see who pops up. Oh, lots want to jump out. Queen of Cups. Now, isn't this interesting, talking about all these intuitive, empathic parts of ourselves? She is the Queen Empath. She feels. She brings her heart right to the surface. So this is saying, with an Aquarian moon, we can rise above the emotional trauma and drama and just tune into the pure psychic data. To do that, make sure you're grounded. Do that root flesh filled practice at renamiller.co/get calm. You can pick it up there. It's going to enable you to tune into the energy, to read it, discern it, without taking it on as if it were your own. So interesting. My goodness. All right. Tuesday, the moon's still in Gemini, and it's our last quarter moon. So that's the day where if there are any practices around forgiveness, compassion towards yourself or others, great day to do it. And, you might want to do something like journaling, write it out, talk it out, because Aquarius is an air sign. It has learned how to contain the water. It has learned how to contain the emotions, essentially. They are the water bearers. So therefore, they are an air sign. It's always interesting because we think Aquarius and many of us think water. And we're like, oh, isn't it a water sign? Well, that's an air sign. They've learned how to contain the water, those emotions. Love my Aquarian friends. So Tuesday, the Aquarius energy, let go of old mental patterns. Clear out any clutter that you have in your thoughts. Maybe you want to do like a brain dump on the page. Just write down everything that's been cluttering it up. Remember, as we get ready to experience Mercury and Gemini at the end of the week, we need to give our mind work to do. Otherwise, it can go into what one of my teachers calls the bad neighborhood, where we're thinking bad thoughts or, just thinking about things that are holding us back from seeing the beauty in life. So this moon on Tuesday is encouraging you, stop overthinking, release the outdated plan, and let's go for a brand new innovative approach. Now, how can you make the most of this day? The sexy devil. Where have you been your own worst enemy? Where are you sabotaging yourself? Where are you chaining yourself in such a way? What are the habits, the patterns? And I'm going to put this more towards thought and thinking because this is Aquarius and it's air. Where are those thoughts keeping you trapped and stuck? And get ready to release them. I saw this cute little video where it was a reel and where the gal was like, I can't remember her name, otherwise I would give her credit. She was basically saying she gave that inner critic a name. And I've heard other people do this. And I thought, oh yeah, I thought, what would the inner critic be? I thought, oh, I like the name Janice. And nothing bad towards Janice's just popped to mind. I thought, Janice, so when you say something to yourself, like that voice comes up, oh, you'll never be able to do that. That won't work. You just don't have it. You don't have enough education. You're out of shape. What makes you think you can do it? You've gotten rejected before. Cancel, clear, delete. And you say, okay, not today, Janice, whatever you name your inner critic. Not today, Janice. I don't think so. Take a hike or take a break. I'm not gonna go down that route. I love that. And we can be kind too. It's like, I love you, Janice, but that's not truth. And you do a simple little practice like that, and that can help quite a bit. So Tuesday, remember that if the inner critic pops up. Wednesday is the Pisces moon. Highly spiritual, intuitive, empathic. Create healthy energetic boundaries to not feel overwhelmed, because when we're overwhelmed in a Pisces moon, we tend to want to escape. We want to get out, maybe watch something, read something, go into our imagination, fantasy land. Pisces moon is very, very feeling. And I always think of them like still waters run deep, because the Pisces that I've known, and my brother was a Pisces, they don't go around emoting a little bit like a Cancer moon. That would be me. Where it's like, oh, woo-hoo. They're very quiet and they're very still, and they kind of take it all in, and they take it on as if it were their own. And I think sometimes those of us who don't have Pisces placements, we don't realize how much they absorb and how much energy they take on as if it were their own, trying to help and trying to make a difference. So for the Pisces moon, as we feel a taste of what they feel all the time, create healthy, energetic boundaries. It could be the grounding practice. It could be maybe you have a favorite crystal like an amethyst that you choose to wear. Maybe you take a salt bath. Things like that can really, really help. And music always for the Pisces. But how can you make the most of this energy on Wednesday? Balance. So Two of Pentacles is about bringing everything to balance. We have choices to make. And as we make these choices, make it so that it is a divine exchange of energy, that you don't feel drained at the end of the experience. Because the Pisces, really, they have the heart of givers and lovers, and they will give you the shirt off their back. My brother, he was a mechanic, and he used to buy cars, fix them up, and then just give them away to people in need. Like if you needed something, like he would give you the shirt off his back. He was drawn to being of service and of helping. And it can really drain us. It can really, if you, like, what do they say? You can't give from an empty cup. So just take a moment, my Pisces friends, and everyone with this Pisces moon, just pause and say, what is the energetic balance here? And it's not always apples to oranges. No, it just has to feel right in your heart. Thursday, we still have that Pisces moon. So go with the flow. Pisces is great. It's what's called a mutable sign. It knows how to handle transitions and to just be happy, going along with the flow of the water, so to speak. Not pushing, not forcing, finding the current and getting into it. It's a great day if you're feeling foggy brained or kind of, just lost in the clouds. Get near water, take a bath, take a long shower, use a little bit of salt to help you come back to yourself. I'm just going to ask, what's the most important thing that you need to know? Four of Wands. So what comes through for this card specifically in this case? Because its meaning isn't so much coming through: celebration, partying, fun, festivals, yes. But the four, think of 4 legs on a chair, 4 legs on a table, stability. And how can we bring that stability in? Through music, through gathering with loved ones. So on Thursday, maybe there's a way that you gather your loved ones and friends and you say, you know what, let's just enjoy a little night of music, a little night music. Maybe there's a concert, maybe there's, someone in your circle who plays an instrument. The Irish side of my family, they would always get together and have ceilidhs and just play and sing and dance. So much fun. Friday, the moon moves into Aries. Big difference in energy. And so for my moon sensitives, those who are really aware of when the moon changes zodiac signs, you might notice when the moon moves out of Pisces and into Aries. And it does that exactly. It actually happens on Thursday. The moon moves into Aries at 12:25 p.m. We wake up to it in Pisces on Thursday, but then around lunchtime, for those of my friends on the East Coast, morning time for the West Coast, you're going to feel a shift into Aries. Whatever moon you wake up to, that's the energy that's going to influence you the most during the day. So that's why I picked the earliest moon sign possible. But Aries moon, bold, fiery, let's just do it. They're not foggy. They're clear-headed. They know what they want to do and where they're going, and they don't, they act now and they're not even asking for forgiveness later. They just do it. So if you have felt like you've been procrastinating around something or you just haven't been able to get up, the boldness, the courage to do it, Friday's energy is going to help you out. And how can you make the most of Friday's Aries moon? We'll see who pops up. The Empress. So everything happens in divine timing. We can't rush it. So the Pisces moon was preparing us, go with the flow. It'll happen when it needs to. I'm just showing up, or flow with the go. This moon, interesting that I said moon, but on Friday, the Aries moon, which is going to want to just do it, go, 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 go. The Empress comes up and says, okay, well, hold your horses. Great that you have the energy and the courage to take some action. You can take action. Just don't feel like everything has to happen right now, that you have to get the answer, that you have to get the result. We're so used to things happening very quickly, and it's so much fun. Like you order something and it seems to come almost instantaneously. And it can be frustrating sometimes when we have to wait for answers, wait for responses. This moon on Friday, it's just reminding, oh, that's interesting. She came up. I pulled from the wrong side of the deck. I'm going to talk about her in a second, but the Empress is basically saying, it's going to happen in good time. You can't rush the process, just like you can't rush a pregnancy. Baby takes that 40 weeks in the womb, but there is success. There is victory ahead. So don't despair. Saturday, the moon is still in Aries. This is when Saturn goes into Aries. We've got the moon in Aries. We've got Saturn in Aries. And we have Mercury hanging out with Uranus. So Saturday's energy might feel a little bit intense, like you're burning up. I would encourage you, get physical if you can on Saturday. Go for the walk, practice yoga, dance, move your body so you can move these big emotions up and out. Create a plan also so you don't feel, because when we have all this energy, if we don't have a direction for it or a channel, it can create anxiety within us. So we're going to just tune in and ask, how can you make the most of this energy on Saturday? The star is limitless possibilities. There's so many options. It might feel overwhelming. So pick one thing, one star that's catching your eyes. There might be 100 different things that you want to do. There's so many options up in the heavens. Pick the thing that's calling out to you right now and hone in and focus on that. Create a plan to harness that and to make it a reality. Highly intuitive card. Definitely make your wishes, and also know that if you're feeling overwhelmed by the options or you're trying to do all the things, you're not going to get anywhere. So pick one. And I'm really talking to myself here. So many things to do. I love it. And then Sunday, the moon's going to be in Taurus. It's going to feel delicious. Taurus moon knows how to slow down, how to enjoy life, great food, great drink, great, just There's no rush. We're here to enjoy life. It's very sensual and tactile. It involves all of the senses and experience, the Taurus energy. So maybe you want to get outside. Maybe you want to do something like, you know what? It's going to be a lazy day on Sunday. We're going to just hang around in our pajamas that are super comfy, eat our favorite foods, and that'll feel nice after the heat and fire of Friday and Saturday. So how to make the most of Sunday's energy. We see who pops up. The world. And there is a feeling of success and completion that you've come through, that you are ready for the next chapter that can be planted with the new moon in Gemini, which happens next Monday on May 26th. Had to pause for a moment. What month are we in? You're getting there step by step. Remember, we don't have to see the whole path all at once. All we need to know is the next step or two. And we have that trust. We take that leap of faith, just like Indiana Jones, when he had to make the leap into the cave and he thought, oh my gosh, I've got to jump. Do you remember that one? I don't know if it was The Last Crusade, which one it was. He was looking for the Holy Grail and it looked like this big chasm and huge drop down between one cave mouth and another. And he had to get to that second cave mouth. And he thought, all right, I got to take a leap of faith. And he went back as far as he could and he ran, and he jumped. And when he jumped, he didn't make the distance to the second cave mouth, but he landed on something. And what had appeared invisible before, what he now realized was this bridge. He threw a little bit of sand on it, but he had to take that leap of faith. Otherwise, he never would have been able to reach his goal. So we just pause. We give ourselves that ability to know, I only have to know a few steps ahead. I don't have to know every single step to get to my dream, to make it a reality. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Remember that in order to create the dream in your heart, to lasso that star in the heavens above, you really do have access to the tools and practices that you need to make it a reality. Give yourself a moment to come back to them, to remember them, to play with them. You have what you need to co-create your dreams. So until next time, next Monday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, right here, come back, play. But in the meantime, stay curious, stay kind, keep dancing with the energy of life, and trust your vibes, follow your heart, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Thank you so much for being here. Happy birthday season, Hannah. It's great to have you with me live. All right. See you next week. Bye, guys.